David Furones covers the Dolphins for the Sun Sentinel. He is in Houston. We do applaud him because he's been one of the few Dolphins media members who's gone to Whataburger while on assignment there in Houston. We're going to talk about that, but let's talk about Terron Armstead first. What would be his order at Whataburger? No, how is Terron Armstead doing?
Yeah, well, beyond Whataburger, I think all Dolphins fans might want some Jack Daniels after finding out that he got hurt again, and after hearing that rousing read from Channing Crowder there for sure.
He's a fantastic live read and a live disclaimer, which very few broadcasters would ever broach.
Yeah, David, I'll disclaim their ass now.
That's that versatility we're looking for. We saw it in the playing days as a linebacker, and now on the radio.
That would be like you writing the little, print that you can't even read at the bottom of a newspaper ad. I mean, it's very, very difficult for the actual content creator to do that on his own.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I mean, some fans might want to drink after seeing another Terron Armstead injury. But a lot of optimism after practice. I know Tyreek Hill was joking around saying that Terron Armstead told him that he's straight, he's just old. And but we did see Armstead on crutches after practice, getting onto a cart. He was carted away from the practice field after being examined on the side for several minutes, for quite a while. So we saw him go down. It looked like it might have been a defender that was blocked into his legs. So he had that right leg examined and was checked on the field, carted into the facilities after practice, then was on crutches, getting onto a cart. He did tweet out a video of himself walking without the crutches on. So that was a positive sign as well, but probably not what you want. He needs to protect himself a little bit more and just maybe use the crutches while this is still fresh and going on. So something to monitor going forward. Obviously, he's had an injury history. All those years with the Saints would miss an average of 5.5 games over the previous 6 years before he came to Miami. He missed some time last year. Even when he did play, he had some nagging injuries, 4 different body parts. It was a toe that started it. He had a knee, a pec, and a hip injury. So he was battling through all 4 of those at one point deep into the season last year. So obviously something that you hope turns out okay for T-Stead and the Dolphins offensive line.
And what does that depth chart tackle look like? Because we know we got Terron Armstead. They brought in Isaiah Wynn. Already had Austin Jackson, first-round pick. Liam Eichenberg, his name comes up. Like, do they need to bring somebody in, David? Like, what's it going to look like? Because, honestly, I'm knock on wood. I don't want this to happen. Terron Armstead is not playing 17 games at left tackle.
Right. So that's why, like, my colleague Chris Perkins always stresses more than anyone that I hear, is the backup left tackle is one of the most important positions on this football team because you will need someone to step in when Armstead, in a lot of cases, inevitably does get hurt. So right now, I'd be looking at a guy like Kendall Lamb. He's one who joined the Dolphins late last season, and then they liked him enough to then sign him. Actually, he was one of the first signings in the free agency period this past offseason. So they wanted to bring him back. So he's kind of that reserve, possibly swing tackle, and most likely on the left side in backing up Terron. Do you end up seeing like an Austin Jackson move back? Now, I mean, he has been at right tackle, and that's kind of where they want him. But and do you end up having to get some versatility out of him? But Isaiah Wynn has a lot of tackle experience in his career, and he's been working at guard over here, so he's in competition for that left guard spot that Liam Eichenberg is trying to hold on to, and some other guards are trying to vie for playing time, like Robert Jones, who was seat time last year, Lester Cotton, who actually started the playoff game last year amid 3 different injuries. So a lot of guys who have stepped in for injured players and have some maybe positional versatility on the line, but right now, obviously, the biggest concern would be Terron Armstead and hoping he's all right, and then if you need someone else, then looking as to how you can replace him for the moment.
How have the joint practices gone, in your opinion, with Houston?
I'll say the defense has looked really solid both days. Defense definitely has held it down. We saw Javon Holland with an interception today on a deep ball that C.J. Stroud threw. Jalen Phillips has been a monster on the pass rush, multiple stacks. Definitely yesterday. Today he definitely had one, and then maybe another one. It's debatable. It's these practice sacks where You see a guy get pressure. You don't know if the quarterback would have gotten rid of the ball a little bit quicker, if they're tackling to the ground. But he's definitely been on either Miami quarterbacks when they're practicing intra-squad or the Texans and the Falcons these past 2 weeks in joint practices. Andrew Van Ginkel had a really good day yesterday with an interception and a couple pass breakups as well. And then offensively, Tua, he threw a couple of interceptions in the first joint practice. Both of them were pick sixes. Not that far from told the whole story as to the practice, because a lot of the guys on offense felt the operation was one of the best, but you still did have those 2 interceptions, and he explained them to the media, had a decent explanation as to what he was trying to do and look a guy off, and then it didn't work. Guys didn't bite. So maybe learning that defenders are making some adjustments to him as well. That's going to be part of that, is making adjustments to the adjustments. And then he kind of had a bounce back day today. So he was better, didn't throw any interceptions the second of the 2 joint practices.
And David, actually, the pick six, the 2-minute drill, 1-minute drill, whatever it was, the pick six he threw to the safety that read his eyes and jumped that slant. But that was in the red zone. Yeah. And, even they got down there easy. And then in the game against the Falcons, the same thing, David. They would drive the field, get inside the 20 and stall out. Should we be concerned with the red zone offense?
Yeah, I would say yes. We saw, it was a different quarterback. It was Mike White in the first half of the preseason game, but you could tell, they would drive down there, and then once they got down there, then we had the 0 for 3, and White was targeting tight ends and trying to fit one into Tyler Kroft one time, got intercepted. We had some throws to Eric Saubert that we saw down in the red zone in that Falcons game, and they couldn't punch it in, had to go for a couple 4th downs, and that didn't work. Maybe Mike McDaniel would take some points in regular season games, but those were also, he is pretty deliberate and aggressive in those 4th down scenarios. So he might end up going for those regardless. But and then we see it again. There was definitely one day against the Falcons where they struggled in the red zone. So that kind of came back up. I thought the first joint practice, the Dolphins were better in the red zone. Tua threw several touchdowns, including a very nice one to River Craycraft in the corner of the end zone. Had one to Tyreek, had one to Raheem Mostert, who has appeared active in catching passes out of the backfield. So I think probably making progressions in that, but then you did see in that 2-minute drill, after they got down there so quickly, a pass to Durham Smythe that was wide open over the middle, another one to Tyreek Hill. They're already in the red zone, and then you get that slant just cut off by Jalen Petrie, who made a great play. So that was a little discouraging that after it seemed like the offense was working so well, then once they got down to the red zone, that happened again.
Who was that dancing behind you, Crowder?
That was the one and only Ryan Clark.
Is that a Whataburger cup that he was holding? I felt like that was a Whataburger cup.
I don't know what he was holding. No, he's a Dunkin' Donuts guy. He likes iced coffee,
I'm watching Crowder's on the video. He was at Giants practice today, so he's up in East Rutherford. So it was
similar color scheme of Whataburger and Dunkin' Donuts.
No, but I couldn't really see it. He doesn't have great lighting there. What kind of hat is Ryan wearing there?
A pivot hat.
Like my pivot hat?
Shirt. Yeah, we got merch, baby.
That's a gold hat, though.
Our colors are white, black, and gold.
I haven't seen that color scheme. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Solana, but I was fascinated by the dancing behind him.
Me too. Yeah. Maybe tell him to work on his dance moves a little bit.
I thought he had some decent moves.
That's Alicia right there. She's our producer. She has 12 Emmys.
She seems, like a better producer maybe than ours.
Yeah, she hates me. Yeah.
We hate him too. I don't know if you can hear that.
Yeah. David, I'm just going to revisit something because, I've been hearing a lot of things about Isaiah Wynn, the position battle with Liam Eichenberg. And to me, that sounds good, right? That there's somebody there that can maybe motivate Liam Eichenberg. But the fact that he hasn't already won that position battle, doesn't that kind of tell us something about Isaiah Wynn? Because let's just say Terron Armstead does go down. Kendall Lamb is somebody, as you mentioned, we can rely on. But everybody keeps talking about Isaiah Wynn. but Liam Eichenberg isn't very good. Like, we kind of know that. So I'm just confused here.
A
Like,
long way to get to that.
is Isaiah? I guess my question.
The whole thing could have started with, Liam Eichenberg's not very good.
Hey, that's Fred Taylor right there. Y'all see Fred?
Let's see Fred. Look at that.
Hey.
That's a legit superstar right there.
Yeah, we go. Go Gators.
How dare he? How dare he?
Pause up.
Sorry. Yeah,
Sorry, David.
I know
Sorry,
people
David.
are more
Back to Liam
important than me.
Eichenberg.
Is Isaiah
No,
Wynn?
I'm entertained by this.
Isaiah Wynn hasn't beaten out Liam Eichenberg yet. We're 4 weeks into training camp or whatever. Is that concerning? I guess is my question.
Yeah. I mean, just say what you really mean. What you really wanted to say was that Eichenberg line.
It was a long route to get to the Liam Eichenberg slander.
But yeah, I mean, what they say about quarterbacks when there's a competition, if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have none. I mean, maybe at left guard, you could also say if you have 4 left guards, you have none. So you have 4 guys competing, and it seemed like it started off with, okay, it's Eichenberg trying to hold on to his spot. Now, okay, well, Isaiah Wynn, who has most of his experience at tackle, they're going to try him at left guard to push Liam Eichenberg, and now he has competition here. And then now, well, it's not just them two in competition. Now Lester Cotton might get into this mix. He was on the practice squad at the end of last year, and he was forced into starting duties in the playoff game at Buffalo. And then you have Robert Jones, who filled in pretty well for the most part last year when Eichenberg went down at left guard for a while. So, I mean, there's a lot of players vying to make that spot, which is that one that's up for grabs. Granted, now Terron Armstead's injury, if it's something that keeps him out for the start of the regular season, now that opens up other things. But yeah, when it's 4 guys competing for that one spot, you would like to see someone just emerge, but it seems like it's just more guys getting into the competition, meaning there really hasn't been anything settled yet.
I should probably point out to those who listen who don't know, we post video of our show on our YouTube channel. So if you hear us talking about Fred Taylor being behind Crowder and Ryan Clark, go to YouTube, search 560 WQAM, look for the Hochman and Crowder playlist within the 560 channel there, and you can subscribe. And Solana at the end of the show posts some of the better video clips from the day so everyone can see it. David Furones covers the Dolphins for the Sun Sentinel. Before we run out of time here, you went to Whataburger. I put the notice up yesterday on Twitter. Any Dolphins media member in Houston for this period of time that does not go to Whataburger is dead to me. You've been there. First of all, was that your first time there? Have you been there before? What did you order, and how was it?
Now, I've been to a Whataburger before, obviously not as familiar with it, being a South Floridian through and through. But I think I've had one. Maybe the first time was in Tallahassee because they extend out to Tallahassee, right?
Yeah, they have one there.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, So I was there for Miami, Florida State, and have had that there. One time I was in San Antonio backing up Ira Winderman for Heat Spurs. So I did have Whataburger out there. So yeah, I mean, I just got the double Whataburger. I was told afterwards, and I probably could have figured this. I should have gotten the Texas toast on it, but I mean,
Sure.
it was just fine with the regular buns. That was good. I may try the patty melt next time. I know that looks really good.
It's a good fast food place, right? It's a good fast food place.
Yes, and I have one not far from my hotel, so that's how I ended up at the one I was at the first time.
So,
and I did this on my own knowledge. I had not even seen your advisory. I don't think it was out yet on social media.
That's why we applaud you. Yeah, you had gone the day before I put the advisory out there. But I put the advisory out. You mentioned the buns. And so Mike Cugno went. And he went with Kim Bocamper. But Cugno got a chicken sandwich grilled, hold the bun. So he just had a plain chicken cutlet. Did he really go to Whataburger?
Oh, sorry. Say that again. He went to Whataburger for a chicken cutlet.
He just got a grilled chicken cutlet, no bun.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like Whataburger to me.
Right? Like, do we count him as to having gone there, or did he find a loophole? Yeah,
I mean, Mike Cugno's a healthy eater.
Yeah,
but I think you have to set that aside if you are making a trip out to Whataburger just for one meal.
What a chicken cutlet. That would be a terrible name.
Wordy and
Yeah,
a lot of
not what it's
problems
called.
with that. David Furones, read his work in the Sun Sentinel. Follow him on Twitter as well. Thank you, David.
Thank you, guys.